A good day to everyone. My name is Mugilarsan Subramaniam from b091910404 student. This is my presentation video of Bachelor Degree Project 1. My title of project is Validation of Stress Concentration Factor in Perforated Plates using finite element software. I would like to encourage my gratitude to my respectable supervisor, Dr. Satya Patama, for his guidance throughout of this project. Let's see contents. Firstly, introduction, problem statement, objective, scope of study, then literature view, methodology, lastly, expected result. Let's see introduction, background study. The biggest problem facing engineering in developing nation is being able to obtain expensive computer packages. The majority of the time, engineering software packages such as CAD, CAM, CAE system are too expensive for smaller private companies or universities. Moreover, computers can be effective used to solve characteristics engineering problems, but most of the time engineering must purchase costly software packages to solve them. Solving them involves the purchasing of the costly software programmer. Furthermore, stress concentration is one of these issues which is generated by unexpected changes in the shape of the machine part. Software such as Analysis, CATIA, and SolidWorks may be used to analyze the stress concentration during the design phase of machine parts. This programmer is based on the number of the numerical method, finite element method. The software mentioned about the quite expensive, and purchasing it just for the purpose of stress concentration study is not cost effective because the engineer must manually determine value of diagrams, the analysis utilization, experimentally obtained diagram is relatively inaccurate. Based on my research study on stress concentration factor on the basic using of SolidWorks software which can easily determine or prove the theory for the existing graph. As a result, the body tends to fail when the concentration of stress is small. Thus, it is important to avoid or reduce the concentration of stress in order to prevent a body from falling. Let's see a problem statement of my project. In today's world, it is difficult to find the software developed exclusively for stress concentration analysis. The majority of engineering use a module that's developed in Microsoft Office Excel, an independent software package that is simple and purchased for the analysis of stress concentration is being developed. By using SolidWorks software, engineering should be able to quickly find the stress concentration factor for machine elements that change in shape. Moreover, concentration of shape calls stress estimation, where the stress level is much higher than in the surroundings area. Stress concentration occurs due to mismatch in the structure or material of a component, causing the stress flow to cases. The objective. The first is to calculate the stress concentration factor of plate with SolidWorks based on the simulation result using the finite element software. The second is for PSM2. Is to compare the stress concentration factor graph obtained with the once published engineering books. So next is scope of the research. To design the perforated plates, for example, T flat plate and I flat plate. Second is to create the suitable measurement for holes, grooves, notches, and fillet. Third is the material selection for this research were ASTM A36 steel on flat plate because this steel standard covers low carbon steel. Fourth is finite element software used for this project is SolidWorks. This software must be give suitable result. Then study on external load must be the acceptable force on bending moment. Lastly, compare the stress concentration factor graph obtained with the ones published in engineering books. Okay, let's see the literature view. The first is stress concentration factor can be defined as the ratio of the hotspot stress range. The author is owned by Wei and Liang Jin in 2016. This journal about the given that the variety of stress concentration factor need to be estimated on any given tabular joint stress concentration factor determination have to rely more on set of parametric equations that account for joint geometry configuration and apply the loadings. The second is determination of stress concentration factor on flat plates of structural steel. Auto by Physics in 2013. This aim of study was to determine the stress concentration factors using a finite element software. Within the most outstanding result is analysis software validation for the stress determination of concentration factor in flat plate with the central hole subject to axial load. The third is investigation of stress concentration factor for finite width, auto by Stronginski in 2018. The first point is theoretical stress concentration factor for finite width orthotopic plate with central circular opening in investigate by use of three-dimensional finite element analysis. The second is the finite element model is validated by the comparison analytic equation for infinite, the orthotropic and isotropic plates. The next journal is finite element application, author by b0919104 in 2018, to clarify the role and importance of finite element analysis in modern engineering practice. Then the Petronas Street concentration factor, author by Johnny Wiley in 2020. This book establishes and maintains a system of data classification for all the application of the stress and stress analysis and expertise their synthesis into the CAD application. Not only that, I take the calculation formula all from this channel. Okay, next is finite element method, basic concept and application, author by Chankesawa R. Alvala in 2019. This journal is present a various numerical method and lists out some engineering applications and advantage of finite element methods. The next is simulation research of a wind turbine using a SolidWorks software. The author is David Checkers in 2019. This paper presents a wind turbine simulation test using a SolidWorks software. Okay, let's see the methodology. Okay, flowchart. So firstly, we move to problem statement and objective and scope of study. After that, the flowchart is following to literature research was carried out and concluded by the familiarization with FE, then specification, specimen modeling in FE software and simulation. Then if they don't have any error, move to calculation of the stress concentration. Then after that, to analysis and discussion of the project. Let's see the relationship between the objective and the methodology for the first objective, which means to calculate the stress concentration factor of plate with SolidWorks. Okay, the first step is modeling in SolidWorks. So in figure 1, we can see the 2D sketch I sketched by my own dimension. So I extrude to 0.5 inch as a figure 2. The next step is simulation. Before simulation, we need to fix geometry as a figure 3 and then put external load around 5,000 pounds. In figure 5 is create a mesh diagram and lastly run the simulation to get the stress concentration data. Okay, this is a calculation for stress concentration. So they have a 4 ratio for 2 plates. So the formula all I take from the chart. So for example, the first is 3/2. So I get 1.5. So the 1.5 is the second line of the chart. So the second step is radius over diameter. Radius of fillet is 0.1/2. Its answer is 0.05. So the 0.05 I refer from chart. Its intercept to 1.5 line. So I will get 2.8. So for get maximum stress, I need to 2.8 multiplied with 5,000 pounds. So I will get 14,000 stress in fillet. So constant the formula to get following ratio to all ratio. Okay. Lastly, expected result. So we can see the figure. The expected result I compare the comparison table. So the result of the research will be clearly stated. The experimental result include the result of the finite element analysis between the theoretical data. Practically, the expected result were less satisfied because the comparison between the chart and simulation data have to be almost same to show the validity of my project. However, my simulation data is almost same with the stress concentration data, which is good enough to prove my project. Furthermore, the job I complete in PSM1 until simulate two different shape flat plate with 4 different ratios that differ from stress concentration factor graph and run a finite element analysis in SolidWorks software. For information, my second objective will be complete in PSM2 and I need to find a finite element analysis for another 4 ratio and need to compare with the graph obtained with the ones published in engineering books for ratio. And that's all for my presentation. And my panels, if I have any lack of knowledge in this study, please guide me towards the project to success. Thank you.